Guys, in the last video you learned that an angle is part of a circle. So I wanted to show you this model here that a circle is made up of 4 90-degree angles. So therefore a complete circle would measure how many degrees? Well, if you said 4 times 90, that equals 360 degrees. You are correct. So a complete circle would measure 360 degrees. Now then, I'd like to show you how to measure an angle using your protractor. First thing you need to think about, though, here's an angle. First thing you might need to think about is, let's ask this question: is this an acute or obtuse angle? That's going to help you with measurement, seeing if it's reasonable or not. And since this angle is opened less than a right angle, which we talked about before, that a square corner would be a right angle, and it measures less than that, so this would be an acute angle, so it would measure less than 90 degrees. So let's look at our protractor. It's in your packet. You'll need to carefully cut it out, and let's think about some things showing on your protractor. You'll need to cut the inside out as well as around the outside. Then you have a perpendicular line here, and where the point, where it meets at a point, you will need to carefully maybe take a pencil point and punch a hole there, because the protractors that we use at the school, they already have the hole there, and you see the perpendicular line. So we're trying to help you out with that. So what you're going to do is take this hole and you're going to line it up with your vertex. The vertex is where your two rays come together. So I get the hole where the two rays come together, but I also have to line this ray up with my 0 on my protractor, and keep making sure that your vertex is lined up with the hole, and then your 0 is lined up with the other ray. Now then, when you look at your numbers, you see that they're increasing by tens. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But this other ray, we're measuring the openness of this angle, is between 40 and 50. It's halfway between 40 and 50, and we know what number comes halfway between 40 and 50 would be 45 degrees. Now then, back when we asked our question, what type of angle was it, an acute or obtuse, does that make sense? We said that this was an acute angle. Can an acute angle measure 45 degrees? And your answer is yes, so more than likely we measured it correctly. Now, our numbers increased by tens, but there's also little lines in between each number, 0 to 10, and each one of those would represent 1 degree. Now, my next angle that we're going to use to measure looks like this one. It doesn't matter, you can spin your angle any direction. That's important with our paper protractor, because we only have 0 on one side, and we'll have to measure the openness of an angle moving to the left. However, our protractors that we have at school, they can be used to measure angles that open to the left. That would be using the bottom row of numbers, and the angles opening to the right, and that would be your top numbers, because those would increase by 10. But we'll worry about that later. Right now, again, we need to first ask ourselves the question: is this an acute or is it an obtuse angle? And using our right angle to help us determine that, you see that this angle is open greater than a right angle, so therefore it is an obtuse angle. Since our protractor, our paper protractor, only has one row of numbers, we're going to have to line it up where our angle will open to the left, because that's where our 0 is going to be. again, line your vertex up with the hole and your ray at the 0, and we're going to see how open this particular angle is. Again, we're counting, you see we're counting by 10, so we go to our numbers 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Well, like I said before, each one of these little lines in between is represented by 1 degree. So we have 110, start counting by ones, 111, 112, 113. This particular angle measures 113 degrees. Back to see if it's reasonable, like our original question was, can an obtuse angle measure 113 degrees? And your answer should be yes, that's greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. 180 degrees would be here, and the importance of being 180 degrees, 180 degrees represents a straight angle, which is a straight line, and so obtuse angles would measure greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So that does make sense for this particular angle.